Write-offs on investment real estate or rental properties. The entire list in this video. Let's get into it right away. But really quickly, if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and I'm back each and every day to help you out through these videos in any way that I can. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. Let's talk about it. So first off, before we get into this, most people don't actually recognize this, but investment real estate or rental properties are actually a business. Most people who own rental properties don't actually realize that you own a business. If you have a rental property, whether it is an apartment building, maybe it's a duplex or a triplex, maybe it's a single family home, regardless of what it is. Maybe it's a mini storage or a little mall that people have businesses in. Regardless of what kind of real estate you own a business. That is exactly what it is. So we need to treat your rental real estate like a business, and therefore you also have many overhead expenses and you have write-offs as a result, right? So let's go through the list of all of the different write-offs that you can have as a result of owning investment real estate or rental properties. Let's get into it. It is a very long list. We can go through these and I'll give you some examples with each of these categories, but I think for the most part, they're pretty much self-explanatory. All right, number one, super basic, cleaning and maintenance. Let's just say, for example, you buy a home and you plan on renting it out. Well, before you can actually get tenants into the property, maybe you need to do things like wash the windows, shampoo the carpets, scrub the kitchen down, clean all of the appliances, maybe clean out all of the ductwork, scrub the hardwood floors, anything like this. All of this can be written off. If you hire somebody to come in and do some cleaning for you, you can write off all of those expenses because it is necessary. It is a necessary business expense to get your property ready for a tenant to move in. Not bad, right? The same thing goes with advertising. If you need to advertise to find a tenant, let's just say that you're trying to find somebody yourself, you start advertising online or whatever means you decide to choose to find a tenant. Whatever you spend on advertising, you can actually write off because, once again, it is an expense associated with your property to find and place a tenant. Same thing goes with background checks and all of these other checks that you may do on a prospective tenant. If you need to pay for a background check or anything like that you need to do, again, you can write all of that off because, once again, it is a regular business expense in order to place a tenant into your property. Next, let's talk about commissions. Now, this is something that many people don't realize you can actually write off. Again, rather than advertising yourself, let's say that you go with one of these firms that actually finds and places tenants for you. Typically, they charge the first month's rent. So let's just say, for example, you're going to be charging $1,000 for somebody to live in your property. Well, you decide that, I don't really want to find somebody myself. I'm going to hire one of these firms and they're going to come in and find me a tenant and do all the background checks and everything for me. Well, they're probably going to ask you for $1,000. That's kind of a steep price tag, right? But guess what? You get to write that off. 100% you get to write that off simply because they are finding a tenant for you. They're providing a service, a necessary business expense in order to, once again, fill your property with a qualified tenant. Good stuff right there, right? I know it's expensive, but you know what? As long as you can write it off, it's not as bad then, right? All right, moving on. Professional and legal. So let's just say that you need to work with an accountant, maybe an attorney, somebody like this for some type of professional type work or accounting work or anything like this. Legal, maybe they need to write up your lease agreements or some kind of anything else, legal, anything like that. You can write off all of these expenses provided it is 100% in reference to your investment or rental property. Now again, if you're going in doing personal work with this person and it's something like that, it's not related to your business or your rental property, again, of course, that would be a personal expense. However, provided it is completely related to your rental or investment property, again, you can write that off 100% as it pertains to your business. As you can see here, there's a common theme. Any expenses that you have directly related to your business, as in your rental property or your investment property, you can write that off. It needs to be a necessary business expense, and then you can write it off, right? So let's continue. The list goes on and on. More. Insurance. So if you own a property, again, you're probably going to have insurance on it. I would hope you have insurance anyway. If you are leveraging the property, as in you have a loan or a mortgage on the property, they're going to require you to have homeowners insurance or a rental policy on that property. If you pay for the property in cash, or you pay the property off, again, it's not required to have insurance, but you probably want to have insurance. Insurance is generally very cheap, and in the event of a total loss of the property, if you do not have insurance on that property, that could be really bad. Not only that, the liability insurance is what you need as well. If you're placing a tenant in your property and by chance that person gets hurt, you could be looking at a lawsuit. So you got to protect yourself, make sure that you are insured, and once again, you can write that insurance premium off against your property simply because it is once again a regular business expense against your rental property, right? All right, moving right along once again. Repairs. So if you need to make necessary repairs to the property, let's say that once again you bought the property and it needs just some general repairs. Maybe it needs a couple new doors because the doors are all dinged up or have holes in them or something like that. Maybe it needs some patchwork with the drywall because, again, maybe it's all scuffed up and it needs to be patched up. Maybe you need to do some painting. Again, all of this can be repaired. Maybe one of your appliances goes down and you need to either repair the appliance and or replace the appliance. Again, that can be written off, but in some instances, they may want to depreciate the actual appliance rather than just writing it off all in one swoop. But again, talk to your accountant about that. I am not your accountant, but again, talk to that person and they'll know for your exact situation and what is actually going on with whatever's going on there. Same thing goes with like carpeting or flooring, things like this. If the carpet is really bad and you need to rip it up and replace it, again, you can write that off, but in some instances, you may need to actually depreciate it rather than actually just writing it off all at once. Again, have a conversation with your accountant, but either way, you can write all of it off because it's a regular business expense, right? So again, supplies. Supplies are next on my list, and you can certainly write off any supplies associated with that property. Let's just say, for example, going back to our first example of cleaning. Let's say that you buy the property and it needs a deep cleaning. So you decide, I don't want to hire somebody because that's expensive. I totally get it. Hiring people to do that kind of stuff is very expensive. Let's just say that you want to do all the cleaning yourself. Well, you don't have any cleaning supplies. So let's say that you go to the regular, store down the street and you buy all of the regular cleaning supplies. Maybe a mop and a bucket, you buy some bleach, you buy some detergents, you buy some other cleaning products. I honestly don't even know what you buy anymore. A toilet brush? Do people use those things anymore? I don't even know. Anyway, you buy a bunch of different cleaning supplies because you want to go in and clean your property yourself. You can write all of those supplies off because, again, you need to buy these supplies in order to clean your property. Therefore, you write all that stuff off. Clean your house and, again, save all of your receipts. Very important, save your receipts. Any penny that you spend on that property, whether it's $1, whether it's 52 cents, or whether it's $520, it does not matter. Save your receipts. It is very, very important. All right, next on my list is utilities. If you buy the property and you have some utilities expenses before you actually place a tenant into the property, again, you can write off all of your utilities. Your electrical expenses, your gas, maybe your water expenses, anything like that, it's all a write-off. You can write all of that stuff off. Also, this is one that many people don't think about. Homeowners associations. If your property is located in a homeowners association, the association dues are, once again, you can write all of those off because it is a necessary expense on your property. Not bad, right? As you can see, this is a very long list. I'm not even going to hit on the whole list today. There's a lot in this list, and there's a lot of things out there, but I'm just going over some of the real kind of basics in this video. All right, next on the list is property taxes. Again, if you own a property, you're going to be paying property taxes. There's pretty much no way out of that. You will be paying property taxes, and once again, you can write off all of your property taxes each and every year because you need to pay property taxes to own that property. And again, you can write all that off. One more thing that many people don't think about. A rental license. Sometimes in some states, in certain cities, in certain counties, in certain localities, you will need a rental license in order to operate your rental business. In other words, your rental property. Therefore, when you cut a check to the city or the county or whoever administers this, this governance, as in the rental license, you can again write off all of that expense for your rental license. A lot of times with a rental license will also come an inspection, where somebody will come in, inspect your property, and basically write up a list of all the things that you need to change to make it compliant with what they need from you in order to make it safe for a tenant to live there. A lot of times they'll check all of the smoke alarms, things like this. They'll make sure that you have a fire extinguisher hanging somewhere in the home, and maybe a variety of other things. They'll write up a list and basically say, you're in compliance, congratulations, and you're good to go, you'll get your license, and they'll issue that license. But a lot of times they also associate maybe like a $50 or maybe like a $100 fee for somebody to come out and walk through your house for 10 minutes and tell you everything you need to change. So again, you can write that off because it is another necessary expense for your rental business. Also, other expenses. Like if you have any other expenses that do not fall into the categories that I just listed, you can write those off. So again, there's a variety of other things that you can maybe have it for expenses as far as your property goes. But again, you can write all of that stuff off. Just put it under the other category. Now, here's what I would stress. Keep your receipts, no matter what you spend money on. If it is pertaining to your property, save all of your receipts, whether it is $1, whether it's $500, whether it's $5,000, it does not matter. Save all of your receipts, as you can write off all of that expense. Now again, in some instances, you may need to actually depreciate some of that expense over a specified period of time, but for the most part, most of those expenses you can write off your very first year, no problem at all. Now, one other couple of things here I want to mention too, is there is depreciation. Seriously, the list goes on. And there's actually another one that I want to talk about here in just a second. There's depreciation. So each and every year, based on the basis of the property, as in, let's just say you buy the home for $100,000. The land is worth $20,000. Therefore, you can only depreciate the actual property, not the land. So you would have $80,000 of depreciable property that you can depreciate over 27 and a half years for a residential property. So 27 and a half years, you can continue to depreciate that property, whatever that calculates out to, the $80,000 on an annual basis over 27.5 years. Yep, you get to depreciate that as well. So that is just a phantom expense that you get to write off every single year. All right, one more and then we'll wrap this up. I know the list is getting really long, but seriously, it's a very long list. And like I said, I didn't even hit on everything. There's still a lot that I'm not even talking about. We can always come back and follow it up with a future video. But here's another one, mileage. Mileage is a big one that so many people forget about or just say, nah, it's not worth it. No, it's totally worth it. Here's the thing. You're going to be driving back and forth from your home to your property. You're going to be going from your property to the utility store or the home improvement store, whatever that happens to be. You're going to be going back and forth getting all kinds of things. You're going to be going there to meet with tenants. You're going to be going there to meet with other people for maybe painting or maintenance or cleaning or anything else. You're going to be going back and forth to that property, to the store, all kinds of things. Write all of that mileage down, track it, and once again, you can write it off. 58 cents a mile for every mile that you drive in reference to your rental business, your rental property. Therefore, if you drive 1,000 miles in an entire year based on your property, you get to write off $580 in mileage expenses. Again, not bad, pretty good stuff, right? So, I hope this video helps you out. As you can see, there are a ton of different expenses associated with a rental property or an investment property, and you can write off pretty much everything. If you spend $1 here, $1 there, $500 there, $20 there, $13 there, $120 there, write it all off. Seriously, that's what you can do because it is a business. So many people look at their rental properties and say, it's not a business, it's just a rental. Yeah, you own a business. If you have a rental property, you are a business owner. Yes, a rental property is classified as a business. Therefore, you get to write off all of the expenses associated with your business, right? Makes sense? So anyway, hope all this helps you out. Oh, Okay, never mind. I was going to mention something else. We're not going to go down that road. I need to make a separate video. This video is getting way too long, but I'll come back in a dedicated video. But I was going to talk about how all of these expenses actually offset your rental income. In most instances, you'll probably have a negative at the end of the year. So anyway, that's a big topic. We can talk about that one in a separate video. In fact, I'll probably just go and make that video right here, right now. So again, enjoy the video. Enjoy. I hope you're having a nice day so far. Please subscribe down below. I love talking about this stuff. I do a ton of research all the time. I have to say, I'm a huge nerd. I love learning stuff. Seriously, I research the most ridiculous things you could probably ever think about. I love researching the tax code. I know, I'm a dork. I get it. No problem at all, but I love this stuff. I love learning. It's just like something that I didn't do the first 20 years of my life because I didn't like school. But here's the thing. As an adult, I love learning. It's almost like I'm trying to catch up for all the years that I didn't do anything as far as learning. I just purposely failed my way through school. Anyway, we're not going to go down that road, but anyway, thanks again for watching. I truly appreciate it. Subscribe down below. Share this video with your friends, family, social media. And again, thank you so much for your support. I will catch you again in the next video.